friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I have a special message from the source, as I've just finished my latest painting and it came everything so aligned. So firstly, I want to share with you, as this painting is all about manifestation. At the end of the painting, at the end of this video, you will see the whole creation. You will see 4 layers on the painting. The first one is the source, the second one is the layer of energy, vibration and frequency. You will see atoms, playfulness of energy. The third layer you will see on the biological manifestation of energy. You will see animal cells, plant cells and bacteria. And then on the fourth layer you will see the manifestation of that biological form. You will see it as a form of nature, a beautiful, perfect structure that is made by life. So as I was making that painting, I thought, well, what a perfect structure life is. Isn't that so? And we are worrying often about little things, and often we say, oh, I feel so blocked, I feel so stuck, I feel sad because this and that. But we don't really recognize how much of life is happening just so we can be here, just so we can exist in this present moment. And if all that life coming together in such a perfect structure, for us, allowing us to be, there must be purpose for us to be, right? And therefore I said, let's make a message out of it, just to remind you how beautiful you are, just to remind you that you are already enough right at this moment, that you're already enough. You stop pretending to be something, to be somebody, because nature made you as you are. Nature created you as you are. So you can give life to what comes to you as an idea, as an insight, as an inspiration. And you're trying to be like somebody else because you think that that other person is living a better life than you. But you already know that you are the most powerful when you're the most you, right? And embracing that unique individuality of yourself will allow you to fully be yourself. It's not about thinking, oh, I will try to be myself today, but actually embracing what you already are, right? Noticing, oh, your body is how it is, let's embrace it. Your personality is how it is, let's embrace it. Your fears are how they are, let's embrace it. Your sadness is how it is, let's embrace it. All your past, everything you've been through, projected onto you so much, and you use it for worries. You use it for blaming yourself. Use it for lessons. Use it for opportunity to see what you couldn't saw before, right? Because that's the purpose of moments. If we would not need to learn anything, we would not be here. But we are here. Are you alive? Are you here right now? Hello? Are you here? Because if you're here because you need to learn something. And the best way to get outside of that state of worry, of sadness, of saying, oh, I feel so stuck, I feel so disconnected from the source, is to notice that you are not disconnected from anything. You are it. You are the source. You are everything that you can be. So see yourself as everything that you can be. And notice everything you've been through as something that is teaching you to be more than you are right now. When you're thinking about the things you think you should be sad about, actually recognize how much those things taught you how not to be. When somebody was mean to you, you've learned, okay, that's how I shouldn't be because it may hurt others, right? So we've started pleasing others. But soon you've learned if you're pleasing others, it drains yourself out. So it's also something you shouldn't do, right? So it's about finding the perfect balance, right? I shouldn't hurt them, but I shouldn't please them as well. So I need to be more real with them. I need to be more honest with them. Let's learn how to be more honest. Let's learn how to be more real. And again, we set ourselves onto the path of curiosity. How to be more real. How to be more honest, right? More truthful. And again, that's a whole new journey. Now we are not blaming ourselves for what we did. Now we are thinking creatively, how could we be more of who we can be? And suddenly we notice, well, a whole life is again giving me opportunities to try once again, to try one more time. And you may say, yeah, but it's so hard, it's so painful. No, it's not. It just depends of what we are looking at. It just depends of how we choose to think about situations. You have that inner critic within your mind that is constantly pulling you down and constantly punishing you for what you did. But as that inner critic is so wise for you, right? So loud. Ask yourself, okay, you have so much to say. Tell me how to use what you're saying to make our lives better, right? Because you have this power to create that inner dialogue with yourself where you actually ask yourself, okay, you're so smart, right? You have so much to say of what I did wrong. If you have so much of information about what I did wrong, can you tell me how to make it better? Can you use all that critical thinking to make my life better? Let's see if we can actually manage to work together and make our lives better. If you think that I was too shy there, let's build more confidence, right? Make that inner dialogue with yourself and build up the confidence that you feel that you need. Because you know that confidence can grow when you're willing to be without it. And that inner critic is only criticizing you because you're not placing your attention onto the potential. You're placing your attention onto what you think you did wrong. And more you place your attention to something, more you start feeding it with your vital life force, and then you get feedback as the byproduct of where you're focusing at. So you get that feedback of feeling more of what you think you did wrong. But when you focus on the potential, let's say potential is more confident you start receiving a feedback what to do to be more confident. Let's expose myself. Let's go and meet new people. Let's get myself to a certain workout group. Let's work out together. Let's meet those new people. Let's expose yourself. And then that critical part of you may say, oh, don't do that, it's so scary. But then you say, okay, how can we make it not so scary, right? And you may say, well, pretend that you're better at it. Go there and pretend that you're better at it. Like that it's not so scary actually. You're learning. And then you go there and you notice, well, you're not the only one. Actually, everyone there feels kind of weird, kind of awkward until you establish some relationships, some connections, which obviously take time. Like everything takes time to build a certain meaningful connection. So everything in this life is so complex, but at the same time so simple. When we just refocus our attention to something helpful, to something meaningful. And that's what I think this painting can remind us. You see, at the end you will see that wonderful nature and a deer and some mountains. It feels like some mist in the background. Water, the reflection, everything looks so beautiful, so simple. like when you sit outside into the nature and everything feels like it already works so perfectly well. But our mind tends to complicate everything. We will never understand the complexity of life, the complexity of everything that's happening within what we see. When you see a flower, how much of biological happening is happening each second just so that flower can smell beautifully, right? And then you see a bee coming to that flower, all that wonderful happening. It's so complex. Science is trying to explain all of that. But nothing makes any sense until you get there and smell it. And suddenly you experience that awe. And suddenly you say, well, that's the meaning of life, right? To be in awe with it. To experience it in a way that inspires us, right? Because life is all about constant creation, and inspiration is a beginning of new life. When you feel inspired for something, you only feel inspired for it, so you would make something out of it. So you would use that inspiring idea and give life to it. Like when I was meditating and I saw this vision for this painting, I grabbed it, I took my canvas and I've started painting it, and it came to life. That's what happens when we grab ideas, and all inspiring ideas that come to you because you have ability, possibility, strength, talent, gifts, anything you need to make something out of it. People that live the most abundant lives are those who grab the most of inspiring ideas that come to them, and they make something out of them. That's where you open yourself to the law of abundance. Because abundance is deeply connected to value, and value comes from creation. Look, as the trees are growing, they're producing oxygen so you can breathe it. And when you breathe out carbon dioxide, so trees can breathe it, right? The synergy of life, that's the value of creation. So to produce more value, start creating more, start giving life to more ideas, to more things, to more inspiration that is constantly finding you. How often you're scrolling on social media and something inspires you and then you distract yourself? That's when you say no to abundance. That's when you say no to greatness. So the next time when you feel inspired for something, slow down and say, hey, wait a minute, let's do something out of it. If you're an artist, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a connector, the one that's connecting people, if you're a light worker, if you are whoever, you feel inspired for something. I'm sure you feel inspired. If you're a musician, you feel inspired often to make a new song, to write new lyrics, or to make some new melodies. And then that critical mind says to you, don't do it. Who will listen to you? Who are you? Right? But you need to build a friendly relationship with your critical mind because it's untrained. If you're not training it, it will stay untrained. And you know what happens to an untrained dog? It will bite you. It will bark at you. But when you start training your critical mind, you start building a friendly relationship with it. And what happens? You can use your critical mind for improving your character. When that inner critic turns on and start blaming you, like, who are you? Who will listen to you? You can ask it, well, okay, surely you have a lot to say. How can we use what you're saying for improving our work? Let's work together. And that critic may say to you, well, you're making many mistakes when you're playing this song. Like, you're trying to be like that artist, but you will never be like him. And then there's already an insight. Okay, I'm still comparing myself with somebody else. So let's be more of myself. Let's discover what music feels like. This is truly what I want to do. Because that's how you know that it's coming from within you. Because only when something truly and fully resonates with you, you can know that it comes from within you. And again, you can use that inner critic to recognize, okay, again, you're comparing yourself with somebody. And always make a dialogue with that part of you until you establish a friendly relationship with yourself. Because you can always use critics for self-improvement, for growth, for fixing the errors that have been produced within your personality because of conditioning, because the world told you that you shouldn't be yourself, that you shouldn't do the things you're passionate about because you can't make a living out of them, that you shouldn't be an actor, that you shouldn't be an artist, that you shouldn't be a teacher, that you shouldn't be a scientist, that you shouldn't do whatever you always felt called to do just because it's not possible, or just because no one in our family did it. That's where most of that criticism comes from. But if you would ask those people, why not? They would give you so many reasons that you would slowly start to believe them. But if you question those reasons, you may ask yourself how much of experiences they have to tell you what you can do or can't do, right? That's why you need to question your inner critic and ask it, like, can you give me some practical tools, rather, for how can we improve our work? The next time, because you will criticize yourself, the next time you will expose yourself, you will feel that inner critic again. But ask it, okay, how can we improve this part of ourselves? How can we be more in tune with this wonderful creation? And maybe you will just notice, oh, I just need to meditate a little bit more. I just need to meditate a little bit more. Maybe you could meditate on those thoughts right now and see where it will take you. So my friend, I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. The name of it is Layers of Life. Hope it inspired you. Prints of it are already available in our Etsy shop. You can go there and check it out. If you feel like you would like to support my work, go there and check it out. Thank you so much. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Stay beautiful, stay magnificent, and stay creative. Till next time, one love.